Okay, this is another outdoor test on the Hetzer. I've been trying and playing with it this morning, and I think the throttle, I might be okay for endpoints on that. Steering might be another issue. It's kind of touchy. I might want to try and tone that down a little bit, but the full top speed seems to be okay. Maybe a little fast. It's probably 4 to 5 miles an hour, which is just about right. I mean, 4 miles an hour to us in scale is 24 miles per hour, and that'd be about right for the Hetzer. So I'm going to show you how she runs. She does pretty good on, you know, stuff like hills, and we'll go through this ditch real quick. Like I said, the steering is kind of touchy, but she's got so much torque and power. I'm really wondering at this point if I could have just run it on a 12-volt LiPo and let the IBU do all the work, because I can get it to run real good with the Sabertooth, and I can get the IBU 2 Pro to run real good with the FlySky i10 on the bench, but I'm having trouble getting them to run well together. I've still got to work on the Y cables and stuff like that. So we'll run down the street here, and then I'll make a pass coming back. The battery seems to be holding up really well. I made several passes, and it only dropped like maybe 0.2 of a volt on its total, from 24.6 down to 24.4. I think these 8,000 milliamp LiPos are going to work really well. It'd just be a shame if it turned out I really could have run it on 12 volts, because I bought 2 of those 6-cell LiPos, and that was 180 bucks for 2 batteries. We're still running, you know, conservatively. Still got some speed there. All right, now there's full throttle right there. She does drive really nice at speed. Slowly too. You just got to be easy on that throttle, or the steering rather. See, I'm a little bit jerky there, but she'll creep right along without any kind of stall or whatever. She just comes right up that hill, man. There ain't no stopping her. I think I'm gonna have to work on the Y cables and attachments, but that's full throttle, and she seems to run pretty good. Now the tracks are definitely crap. They're just way too stiff, and they're not straight. The holes are, none of them are in the right place, and they'll want to climb up on top of the return roller. So it looks like I'm gonna have to get with Chunwai and get a sample of their Martyr tracks, and I might have to go ahead and invest the $700 for some decent shoes for this puppy. All right, one more through the ditch and we'll call it a day. The suspension does work though, as you can see when it runs over sticks and whatnot. She drives really nice. It's time to start the detailing, man. I can't wait. This thing is going to be just awesome. So that's where we're at on the Hetzer. Like I said, I got to get this electronic stuff figured out. If I can get the IBU to provide sounds, our IBU guru, Ian Judge, is working on a custom project just for me. I'm so happy that he got on board with this. He's going to try and hook me up a 15-watt amp with remote volume control that'll run 2 4-ohm, 3 or 4-inch speakers, probably either Aura or what is it, Visiton. That's what I'm looking at. They're relatively cheap. The speakers are less than $15 a piece, and I can build my own speaker box for it. So that's a question for you guys that know speakers. Am I better off to build my speaker box out of styrene or out of like pasteboard or cardboard, you know, as far as the sound quality goes? Okay, I've been playing around with the endpoints, and for the throttle I think I'm good to go, but for steering I toned it down to 25%, and now I don't know how well this will, probably gonna block the view of everything, but now my super spin, before if I just barely touched it she'd be moving. And now I really got to apply some stick to get her to turn. Same thing with turning, which before it'd be trying to jet around by now, but with 25%, I just have way better control on the steering. Now I can tell from the sound that my chain alignment on my left side motor is not right. It keeps clicking against the drive sprocket. I need to move that motor more towards the center of the tank to get a better alignment between the two sprockets. Part of the problem might also be that I'm using a 1/8 sprocket, 1/8 wide sprocket on the motors, but only a 3/32 at the axle. So I'm just using 1/8 chain, but that's actually a little bit big for the axle sprocket. Might shop around and see if I can find the same style axle sprocket with a 1/8 wide tooth, or that's actually length of tooth. But anyway, that's one thing I need to address, is that that chain alignment. I think if anybody in the future takes on a project like this, I should have and would have been, had I known, you know, I would have been much more attentive to the alignment of the chain and making sure that it's exactly right. I think I also made another mistake in that I have a certain amount of play back and forth on the axle with the sprocket, and I didn't really take that into account. I pretty much got it all the way up to one end, and that's the way I would want to move to change my alignment. So I kind of painted myself into a corner on that one, but it's no big deal. I just have to elongate the holes a little bit and move the motor over. That might cause concerns later if vibration causes the motors to come loose, but that's something we'll have to address then. I'm still wondering if I could get away with 12 volts on this and just run everything right off the IBU and eliminate the saber tooth. I mean, that'd take $125 out of the build, but I'm not sure if it would drive as sweet on the IBU as it does on the saber tooth. And before I go, I got to give a really huge thanks to several guys on this project. Mark, Rivet Counter, has been just incredible on helping me with all this drive system. Eric at IMAX has been more than incredible with radios and electronics and all that stuff. Ian Judge has gotten on board from RC Tank Electronics, and he's helping me with the sound system and the volume controls. And last but certainly not least is Master Sergeant Mike down in Kentucky. That's my guy. I talk to him on the phone all the time. We both have a real love for 1/6 scale RC, and he has been a help just in areas that I never imagined, and more than I could possibly imagine. And one of these days, Mike, I'm going to make it down there, and I want to drive all of yours. Okay, one more thing. I need opinions. Tell me if you think I need to take another link out of the track. It's probably not going to be easy to see in this light and everything, but it seems like they're just a wee bit loose. Sometimes when I try to turn, it'll want to climb up on the outside of the sprocket. If I had somebody to drive for me, I could take video at the same time, but that's a little difficult. And I just ran into the problem with throttle left and steering right. I don't have a third hand to run the camera. With the throttle and steering on same stick, I can do it all. Now, especially at the front there during a super spin. Saw the far track, now this one, you can see it really bunches up there. It's trying to climb on the sprocket too. I'm thinking I need to take out at least one link and possibly two. There was no stretching together to get the tracks to connect. They came together real easy, plenty of space. So let me know what you guys think about that. Okay, shortly after that last video, we ran into our first major design flaw, and we threw a track, and unfortunately, you can see we had to bring out the tank transporter to retrieve her from out by the street. The design flaw is the way they're using the C-clips to hold these road wheels in place. It's not working. Just lost 5 washers. 5 of, let me show you. These washers. The road wheel slides on, this washer goes on, the C-clip goes on. The grooves for the C-clip are nowhere near deep enough. It's not strong enough. The C-clip pops off, then you lose the washer. Then you lose the outer bearing, which is gone from this wheel. Still on here, I'll be able to save this one. This means I'm going to have to order more bearings because I don't have enough spares to cover this loss. I'll have to get another, I'll probably order another 10. I have to get the track put back on. You can see it through the track at the sprocket. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this. This is a major design flaw. The problem is on these shafts. There's a groove for the C-clip or snap ring, whatever you want to call it. You can see this one has lost its washer and its C-clip. The rear bearing is still in place, but the outer bearing is gone. That groove's just not deep enough, so I'm wondering if I can drill and tap the end of each road wheel axle to accept a socket head cap screw and then I can machine some kind of custom washers to go over the outside. I don't know. It's going to take a lot more thought. Damn. But that's the first major design flaw. The C-clips don't hold the road wheels on. And boy, no, I'm really glad I didn't super glue any of those hubcaps in place. I'd be really messed over now, wouldn't I? All right, we'll keep working on it and we'll keep you posted. We'll see you next time.